Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're picking up with this little folio that we made, and we just started and made this with a manila envelope or folder and started a folio that I'm also going to turn into a journal. Today we are going to work on the signatures, but first I had a feeling and wanted to come and show you how I came up with this cover. I did use a basic file folder just like this one, and this measures 11 3/4 by basically nine with this file tab it's 9.5, but I am just going to take this and trim it. It was 11 3/4 exactly. So I'm going to trim it down to 5 5/8. There we go. And they're not exact. One is definitely taller than the other, but that's fine. This one is a little over 5.5, which is what I wanted. Now, I'm going to take this and fold and score the flaps. So I'm going to make this, let's do 5 3/4. So let me get a scoring tool. I'm going to turn it this way and score at 5 3/4. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side and score this at 5 3/4. Okay, now that's all it takes. This is going to fold over for the front, and this will be folded over for the inside. That is roughly how I made this cover. Now, obviously, this one's even a little bit smaller than this one. So you can play around. It's probably going to be matching this one more, so yeah. So you can play around with the measurements however you want. You can make these any size that you want. I'm going to go ahead and stick to this 5 3/4 for the scoring. Okay, and just like that, I mean, it's so quick. Now I have 2 more folios covers to play with. I mean, they make up really quickly. It's great that you can make 2 out of 1 file folder, and they're a whole lot of fun. All right, now this is the paper that came in this kit, and a lot of this is pretty thick paper. Some of it is super thick, more for covers than inside pages, but I did want to add some of this. So this page is really nice. It's a Stamperia page. I don't see the kit other than SBB 967 if you're looking for it. That's the only naming that I see on it. Yeah, SBB 967. Okay, now let's trim this down to fit in our folio. I want the height to fit inside nicely. So let's do 5.5 tall. Okay, so that'll fit nicely inside of here. And then we just need to fold, and I like the idea of this being an opening page. So I'm actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this page, so this is 12 inches, and this little journal is not even quite 5.5. So I know that I can score this. I'm going to do 1.5 inches. Actually, I'm going to do 1.75 inches. I could even go further over if I wanted. I'm going to take that, fold that over. This is going to create an inside pocket. Then I'm just taking this, making sure my page is still going to fit in my journal. And I'm going to score that just like that. Okay. So this page will go in here, and I want this to be my opening page for the little journal. Now, you could put as many pages in here as you want, or as few as you want. We'll just do a couple more. It doesn't need to be a super big journal to be effective and be beautiful and useful. But let me grab some other paper. This kit came with so many options. I'm gonna stick this in here. Let's look at this this airmail envelope and see if we can sew this in and how that would look inside the journal. That might be fun. It would stick out quite a bit. We might also just save that and tuck it in our pocket. Right up here. Oh, it's a little too wide. Okay, let's keep looking. I want to add some more paper. This paper is so thick and luscious. It's really, really nice. I like this one and this one, I think, for this journal. So let's use these two. And then it came with thinner papers too, which is really nice. And I think it would be nice to use these. This is like a straw paper kind of. Let's see what else we've got. That's the piece of fabric that I have left over. I have these larger envelopes. Lots of larger envelopes. Then there are the really neat double-sided invoices. Let's put one of those in there. I'm going to put the lighter, one of the lighter invoices in there. And then there's also this paper, which has a really nice weight to it. I'm going to put that in there as well. And there's even this like manila paper. I'm going to put that in. It's almost like construction paper is what it reminds me of. I think it's going to be more coffee and less travel is what it's looking like so far for this little folio. And this is definitely enough paper. Okay, so let's cut it down. These are all different sizes, so this will be a really good demonstration for how to cut these down. Let me check my time. Don't want to go over. Okay, so here we go. I just need to trim. And you don't always have to cut. So let me show you. You can just fold. Then, you know, you have a pocket, a built-in pocket here. If we just fold it like this, and then let's check it. If we fold it in half, yep, it'll fit in there just perfectly fine. Let's turn it this way. Nope, we can't because of the pocket. I mean, it could be a top tuck, but I think I want it like this. Just kind of playing around with the different options. That is my favorite, I believe. So let's put this in here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be so fun. Okay, now, probably be a good thing to write down my measurements, but I'm gonna be doing 5.5 height. Let's just cut this. Is this 11? Almost. Let's cut it down to 5.5 and then just fold this in half. I do like pages of varying widths and heights because I think it makes things more interesting. I'm always talking about like those peekaboo moments between your pages. I really do feel that way about it. Let's try this. I like that. Okay. Let's do another. Now, we could take this piece and fold it, making sure that it's not too tall. Again, I'm measuring. Okay, 5.5. Yeah, it would probably be good if I wrote it down on a Post-it note. The height and width of my journal, then I could keep it but nearby for this portion of the paper folding. Okay, I like this. Bring my bone folder in and get some nice sharp creases. All right, and I just need to trim a bit of this off. It's a little too tall. There we go. Going to be a lot of pockets actually in here. All right, more paper, 2 more sheets. This stuff is so thick and so nice. I love this side right here. So I want to make sure that that's in the journal. So I'm going to trim off the branding strip, turn it, and make sure, trim that to 5.5. This is over 11 inches, so let's trim it down to 11 inches and then let's score at 5.5. Like this. That's nice. That's a little long, so I'm going to have to trim that off. The next time, we'll have one more video for this little folio journal, and it will be the decorating and ephemera. Already, this is coming together so nicely. Let's do this one more time. Trim off the branding strip. Turn, I really like this. It looks like it is old rusty safety pins or something on it. I don't know. Like it. Okay. Now, the last one we trimmed down to 11 and it was too long. Let's just go ahead and trim this to 10.5. Actually, let's just trim it to 10. And that way, it'll be a little shorter than the other page. So I'm going to score this at 5. Let's see what this other side looks like. I think this will be my inside page for the signature. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, let's do that. So let's see, let's count our pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So that's 24 pages of writing. And lots of pockets already built in. We don't have to build up any pockets for it. So now all I need to do is make sure that I bind it. And to bind it, I can staple it. It's definitely an option. Let's see if a regular stapler will hold it, or if you need a long arm. Let's check that out. You don't have to have a long arm stapler in these circumstances. You can staple without one, even if it's too short. See, this is too short. Another thing, if you don't want to staple it, is that you can use twine and bind it with twine. So that is always an option. This beautiful velvet came in this kit. So you could actually bind it with the velvet, tying the velvet around the pages and tying them in a bow. That is an option. I'm going to sew mine in because it makes me happy. And we will be done. So let me just grab the things that I need to stitch it in real quick. And I need a needle. Okay. That's just keeping me on track. Little birdie told me it's been about 30 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna do 3. This is just a nice little journal, and when I stitch it in, I know it'll last, I know it'll hold, it'll keep everything in its place. I like a sewn and stitched journal. Another thing you could do would just be 2 holes. You could just tie it off easily, maybe with 2 holes. Whatever, you know, makes you happy. For me, stitching and having it bound makes me happy. So I'm gonna poke 3 holes. I'm gonna do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And I am just eyeballing it, but you could measure it as well. I did my waxed linen thread 3 lengths of the book, height wise of the book. Wherever you start, so if you come from the inside to the outside is where you will end when you're stitching. So my bow and my knot is going to be inside of my book because I started from the inside working outwards. If you start from the outside and start your stitching that way, then you'll end on the outside. So just like that. I mean, super easy, super fast, and secure. All right. That is that. put everything back, and then we can look at our little book. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, this could also just be an ephemera holder if you didn't want to put book pages in it and you just wanted to add lots of pockets. You most certainly could. But we made a journal. And here it is. Now, it's popping open because I just had it pried open and was stitching it and doing all of that, but it will train itself back down again. We have, you know, decoration yet to go with this one. Obviously I want to decorate this. One thing I mentioned in my last video is if I had held off on stitching this on, I could have stitched decorations onto this, but you can also use like, we can use Fabri-Tac and glue something on if we want. And then here is our little breakfast blend coffee. I just loved all the little packages, and it had this little sign. I thought it was just perfect for a front page. This here, you know, we can add something onto this, which we'll do in the next video. And then we have these just random pages. When we come back in the next video, we'll also glue some of our pockets shut, like right here and here, you know, and we'll make these like legitimate pockets. But I just think it's super pretty, super cool. Not a palette I typically work in, which is fun for me. To get a kit like this and work outside of a palette that I would choose, you know, because I want to be able to do neutrals. I don't do it on my own. So having a kit like this geared towards neutrals really helps me. All right, you guys, I hope you'll come back, see how we finish this little journal once and for all, and that maybe you're crafting along with me. So if so, yay. And today, you know, also you got to see how quick it was and easy to start a little journal like this. All right, thanks for spending your time with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.